الله 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 الله.
نحمده ونصلي ونسلم على رسوله الكريم أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قال تبارك وتعالى في القرآن العظيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم هن لباس لكم وأنتم لباس لهن صدق الله العلي العظيم إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا ومولانا محمد وأصحابه وبارك وسلم الصلاة والسلام عليك يا رسول الله وعلى آلك وأصحابك يا شفيع المذنبين. Respected elders, brothers, friends, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. All praises are due to Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala. Choices of blessings, durood and salams, we convey upon our noble messenger, Hazrat Sayyidina Muhammadur Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. In this pre-khutbah talk, I would like to draw your attention to three important points, and I hope inshallah through the little time I have I will continue this discussion with these three important points. So let us go quickly inshallah. The first point I would like to draw your attention to. Alhamdulillah, Hujjaaj are returning from this beautiful, sacred, spiritual journey of Hajj. And they come back to your lands, they come back to your homes. We receive them, we derive the spiritual benefits and all that love they bring back with them. And these rituals that they have performed, it is of utmost importance in Islam, which we have acknowledged. The faraid acts that they have performed, they had the means to go and perform the Hajj, now they came back. And people also been for Hajj before, not only in this year, previously they went for Hajj. Some of us that are seated here in the masjid, you have been for Hajj. Some of you have been for Umrah. Some of us are intending, inshallah, that when our names come in the future, we will go for Hajj. Allahu Alam. And some of us, maybe in December, already making plans that we want to go for Umrah. MashaAllah. There is a very important lesson that I would like to bring, inshallah, for all those that have went, all those that have returned, and all those that are going, inshallah, for this beautiful journey of Hajj or Umrah. See what Hazrat Sultan al-Arifin, Hazrat Sultan Bahu rahmatullah alayhi says. Yes, these things are rituals. These are important rituals in Islam. They are compulsory rituals in Islam. We cannot deny. Anybody who denies a fard act in Islam becomes kafir. But look at what Hazrat Sultan Bahu says. We got this masjid, we read namaz in this masjid named after Hazrat Sultan al-Arifin, Hazrat Sultan Bahu. See and listen to what Hazrat Sultan Bahu says. Hazrat Sultan Bahu says, Jirab, that if your Lord, if God, if Allah could be found, if your Lord could be found by bathing in holy waters. That's how she said, I went in Zamzam water and this and that. If your Lord, if your Rabb could be found If your Lord could be realized and found by bathing in holy waters, Sultan Bahu says the frogs and fish will find him too. The frogs and fish will find him too. As Sultan Bahu says, if your Rabb, if your Lord, if Allah could be found by shaving your hair, a pilgrim needs to get out of the ihram. You need to do taqseer, halqa taqseer, meaning shave your hair, trim your hair. As the Sultan Bahu says, if your Lord could be found or realized by shaving your hair, then the goats and the sheep will find him too. As the Sultan Bahu says further, Jirab, that if your Lord, if Allah could be realized or could be found by the nightly vigils, that means staying awake the entire night. You want to stay awake the entire night thinking that you can find Allah. Then he says the owls and bats will find him too. As the Sultan Bahu says, that, O listener, O student, O person, that your Lord can be found, can be realized by those, O Bahu, who are pure in their hearts and noble in intent. There is no sense having avarice, hatred, animosity, jealousy, all these impurities which are built in your hearts, but at the same time you're doing the rituals of Islam. There's no sense bowing your head so many times in tahajjud salah, but your niyat and your intentions in your mind is all flabbergasted, impure. How are you going to find Allah? So see the notion of the Sultan Bahu says that God could be found, Allah is to be found with those who have purity of hearts and whose intentions are noble. That is my first lesson for those who have returned for Hajj, those who are intending to go for Hajj, those who already performed the Hajj previously. Take this lesson, put it into your heart and keep it there, my brothers and friends, respected elders. My second lesson for today. Very important lesson. I was speaking about Khutbat al-Wida, the sermon, the last sermon of Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And I said I will speak something in addition to in my khutbah today, but because of time we're going to go quickly. From the important sermon which we spoke last week about the human charter and about justice and equality and ukhuwah amongst people, the Prophet ﷺ said, O people, it is true that you have certain rights. In this Khutbat al-Wada, inside there, I'm just giving the explanation or the summary of what the Prophet said in this statement. That, oh people, it is true that you have certain rights with regard to your woman, to the wives, but they have also certain rights over you. Ala, inna lakum ala nisaikum haqqan wa nisaikum alaykum haqqan. That yes, you have rights over them, but they also have certain rights over you. Do treat your woman, do treat your woman with kindness, do treat them well, for indeed they are your partners and your committed helpers. See the maqam, the status, and the sanctity that your and my Prophet ﷺ has given to the women folk in Islam. He spoke about good treatment. He spoke about treating them well. He spoke about them being your committed helpers and partners. My brothers and friends, only on this, inshallah, I would like to say something. A Sahabi Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam asked the Holy Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Ya Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, What rights have the wives over their husbands? Sarkari Bahu sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that when you eat, you must feed them. When you eat, you must feed them. When you dress or when you put on clothes, you make sure that you dress and give them clothes as well. Sarkari Bahu further said that you should not strike them, you should not hit them wajh on their faces. Only on this point, my brothers and friends, we can speak long. We do know that in this day and age, respected elders and friends, today, husband and wife, some of them, not all of them, in a Muslim household are no more like partners. They are like opponents, enemies that are living in a household. They are no more living like partners. We have a situation where we find in societies that we live in, respected elders and friends, where the husband says that he is the boss. With his two hands in his pocket. I am the boss. I make the decisions. You just shut your mouth and you listen to what I've got to say. This type of attitude and superiority that you have over your wives because you bring the income. On the other hand, the wives, they also got an attitude problem that they know that the husband is earning a certain amount of money, etc. They will squeeze the poor guy. They will squeeze him until every cent is drained from the man. We are living in a society where the husbands will hit, like I explained the Hadith Mubarakah, will use very derogatory terms, abuse the woman, don't show any appreciation to the woman. And then we find a situation where the wives, on the other hand, whatever happens in their household, whatever happens in their bedroom, they will go tell the whole dunya, the public, this is what happened to my husband, this is how he treats me, this is how we have that situation. So my brothers and friends, they're not living like partners anymore, they're living like opponents and enemies in a marriage. And we find that if my wife, for example, she is weak. The Prophet said that the woman has been created from the rib of Sayyidina Adam and Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam. It is a hadith of Mubarakah. She has been created from the rib of Sayyidina Adam and Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam. And we as husbands, what we do? We want to straighten them in one day, in one go. What happens when you take a rib and you want to straighten it in one time? It breaks. You're going to break her. You're going to break her physically, emotionally, spiritually. But when we take a rib and we slowly try to straighten it, slowly, extremely slow, then eventually it will become straight. But if we do it one time, we'll break it. So we are guided by the Quran and the Sunnah how to treat them, how to nurture them, how to speak to them. You know, we find that in this day and age, our wives, maybe they got some quality, bad quality or bad characteristic, and we harp on that bad characteristic or the quality of this. The Prophet ﷺ, and I want you to understand, this is a hadith sahih, Muslim Sharif. Sayyidina Abu Hurairah radiallahu ta'ala anhu has narrated कि सरकार दो आलम सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम said, لا يفرق مؤمن مؤمنة, that the believing man should not hate, he should not hate the believing woman, meaning his wife. In kariha minha khuluqan, if he finds something which he dislikes in her character. In kariha minha khuluqan, if he finds something which he dislikes in her character. Radiya minha akhar, Prophet ﷺ said that he should be pleased and happy with something else in her character. we got this notion, oh, my wife don't know how to cook. I'll just give an example. Oh, I don't know how to cook. Whole day and whole night you sing the same song. She don't know how to cook. She doesn't know my requirements of my food. Instead of correcting that, go to your mother or go to my mother and see how you can cook and make it better. We will harp and we will hate that characteristic of hers. Let the Prophet say that you will dislike some characteristic of hers, but the Prophet said, "Radiya minha akhar," that you should like something of hers which she does. Example, she looks after your children, she irons your clothes, she looks after your trusts and your promises and your wealth when you are going to the business or to work. Why can't you like that of her? Why can't you speak that of her? We're only like a fly. You know this house fly? This housefly, when it sees an open wound, it goes and sits there and it drinks and the pus and whatever filth it sees. We mustn't become houseflies. There are other characteristics that we see which is good in them. We must abhor, we must love, we must be considerate about. Hadrat Khadija al-Kubra, time is going. I would like to share this one with you, to understand how close and how much love and affection one should show to one's wife. And I was just reading something, it says today, also the wives are also to blame in a certain way. Before I come to the narration of Hadrat Khadija, they will complain to the husband, "You're making zulm upon me, you are being so oppressive upon me, that I must look after this house, I must clean the house, I must look after, must cook 5 children. The mother comes here, this one eats, that one." The wife is complaining. But the same wife, when she goes and work, example as an air hostess, then she feeds 400 people on the aeroplane. Then she doesn't have a problem to feed 400 people on the aeroplane, but she can't feed 5 people and your husband in the house. So we also got wives that does not want to do justice in their thinking, my brothers and friends. They want to do for the entire world out there. But when it comes for the husband and the children, they know he oppresses me too much, he's very unjust to me, he's like this to me, he's like this to me. We got to complaints. Our wives also need to get their heads examined. Having said that, my brothers and friends, respected elders, Bibi Khadijatul Kubra, this is the last days of her life. She's on the deathbed. She calls her beloved daughter, Bibi Fatima al-Zahra, "Hey Fatima, oh my child, go to your father and request from your father, I want a chadar." I want a chadar. Chadar meaning a sheet. So Bibi Fatima goes to Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam and she says, "Ya Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, oh my beloved father, Ami Jan mujhko bheja, she has sent me to you. She has said that I should come and ask one chadar from you, oh my beloved father." Huzur alayhi wasallam said, "What does she need a chadar for? What is the meaning of this? Why does she need a chadar?" So Bibi Fatima al-Zahra, she goes back with Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam, and Huzur alayhi wasallam comes at the bedside of Bibi Khadijatul Kubra. And when Bibi Khadijatul Kubra sees the beloved Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam, she immediately tells him, "Ya Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, look at my condition. I am indeed very, very sick. I cannot even get out of this bed. These are my last moments of my life. I have sent our daughter Bibi Fatima to you for a chadar." Huzur ne पूछा कि Khadija, क्या वजह है? What is the reason that you require my chadar? She says कि Ya Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that maut is very, very qareeb, very, very close. I requested your chadar, Ya Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, because I can use your chadar as my kafan, Ya Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. As my kafan, Ya Rasulullah. Look at the closeness, look at the affection, look at the nearness and the love of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam's wife, Bibi Khadija al-Kubra, to him. Do you know what the Prophet said at that time? At that given moment of time, he says, "Hey Khadija, leave alone my chadar that you have requested. If you require my entire skin, oh Khadija, I will give it to you, I'll hand it to you." Allah. Ya Rasul. What are you talking about the chadar? If you want my entire skin, oh Khadija, my entire jild, my entire skin, oh Khadija, I will hand it to you. Where in the annals of history, my brothers and friends, respected elders, can we understand and we can take this message about the closeness, about the nearness, about the affection, about the love, about the equality, about the justice that the Prophet ﷺ had for Ummahatul Mu'mineen. And today we have a situation in our lives, in our homes, among some of us. Like I mentioned earlier, we are not partners with each other in a marriage. Husband and wife are no more partners with each other. They have become opponents and enemies. I can be better than you, you can be better than me. There is a competition that is going on in an Islamic marriage. And we learned from the last sermon, the Prophet ﷺ said that, "Oh people, I know you have certain rights, certain huquq when it comes to your woman. But they also have certain huquq, they have certain rights over you. Do treat them well. Do treat them well with kindness, for indeed they are your partners, for indeed they are your helpers." My brothers and friends, this is the very important message that we learn from this important Khutbatul Wada', the final sermon of the Prophet ﷺ. In these two Jummahs, I only enlisted two. There are so many else which we can speak, inshallah, in the near future. But last but not least, my third message for today, and I would like to end off with this important message, brothers and friends, respected elders. And the message that I would like to give to you, as you can see, some of us are not here today for the Jummah because many people have gathered around in the New Town Square, and in the New Town Square, and there will be this mass protest action against what has happened not only in the recent week, but previously in Sweden, the desecration of the Holy Quran. And ma'azallah, is not even worthy of being mentioned in a Jummah like this, about how we found that people are having the police to even support their wrong actions, where we saw a person kicking the Quran like a football, ma'azallah. But nevertheless, I have this important message from the Sunni Ulama Council, Gauteng, and I would like to read it out to everybody, inshallah. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. We, the Sunni Ulama Council, strongly condemn the recent desecration of the Holy Quran in Sweden. This disturbing incident has not only hurt the sentiments of billions of Muslims around the world, but also goes against the principles of respect, tolerance, and peaceful coexistence that are essential for a harmonious society. The Quran is a sacred book for Muslims carrying invaluable spiritual and moral guidance. It holds a profound significance in our faith and is revered by billions of individuals who seek solace and inspirations from its teachings. Any act that shows disrespect or contempt towards the religious symbols of any community is reprehensible and should be condemned in the strongest terms. Our thoughts and prayers are with the Muslim community in Sweden, and we stand in solidarity with them during this difficult time. We also extend our gratitude to the international community for their support and encouragement in upholding the values of respect and religious freedom. May peace, harmony, and understanding prevail in our world as we continue to work towards a future where diversity is celebrated and religious beliefs are respected by all. So my brothers and friends, this is the message from the Sunni Ulama Council with regard to the desecration and the dishonoring of the important book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Quran Kareem. In the week, on Sunday, we also heard of the passing away of our late Abdul Aziz Patel's wife, Marhuma Fauzia Banu Patel. Family has asked us to make special dua and maghfirat for her. Allah Ta'ala unko maghfirat farma, Allah Ta'ala unko bakshish farma, Allah unko jannat ata farma inshallah. And then also in the week we heard of the passing away for our opposite neighbor of Sultan Bahu Masjid, Marhum Junaid Pahad. And yesterday we heard about Isab Pahad also passing on. We make special dua, Allah Ta'ala sab mahumeen ko maghfirat farma or bakshish farma. And we also, one of our musallis who passed away almost 1 year now, our brother Abdul Razak Abdul, he was a musalli of this masjid. Alhamdulillah, we are also going to make special dua and maghfirat for him as well. Allah Ta'ala marhum Abdul Razak Abdul ko maghfirat farma, unko bakshish farma, और जन्नत अता फरमा, वमा अलैना इल्लल बलागुल मुबीन।